Good morning, future Martians, and happy launch day. We welcome you to the Martian 2200 heading to Curiosity Village of Gale Crater on Mars. Our flight time today is 8 hours and 35 minutes, arriving on Mars at 5:35 Gale Crater time. Currently on Gale Crater, the winds are from the west, peaking at 45 miles per hour, and visibility is limited due to the recent sandstorm. When we arrive, it will be the 53rd day of January, so you can expect the temperature to hover around -33 degrees Celsius or -92 degrees Fahrenheit. However, the temperature within Curiosity Village is stable at 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that we have exited Earth's atmosphere and there is no more turbulence, please move about the cabin and meet the other 4,000 passengers, as they will be your neighbors once we have reached Gale Crater. We will be landing soon, but before we touch down, please check out this short presentation by some Gale Crater representatives to learn more about what you can expect for your life on Mars here in the year 2200. I don't care how you do it.
Hi, I'm Jackson, your local geomorphologist for the rest of your life on Mars. I imagine you've all heard of what Earth used to be like, before it started becoming like the red planet. Around 3.5 billion years ago, Mars looked like Earth looked 200 years ago. Now we use Mars as a research setting to provide opportunities to learn more about how we can restore Earth to its past beauty, while also providing population relief for Earth. As we approach Mars, you'll notice that we will be landing just above the equator at Gale Crater, a massive hole on the surface of Mars, which is conveniently located in an area with available water in the soil. If, by some chance in the future, the planet were to be terraformed, then Gale Crater would be lying on the edge of a huge water body on the northern hemisphere of the planet. You might ask yourself, what is there to do for recreation? Well, here at Gale Crater, we pride ourselves on an abundance of research and recreation. The interplanetary hotspot for R&R. Visit Aeolus Mons at 5.5 kilometers, 17,000 feet of elevation, or dip down into Aeolus Planum, where you can visit ancient river deltas. As you look out your left window, you will see your future home, the Discovery Village, as well as the Musk Village, the Forest Ribbon, and most importantly, your future village, the Curiosity Village. You may ask how we sustain life on this planet. Well, we take a two-tiered approach here. First off, pulling soil from the Martian regolith. Soil on Mars is full of perchlorate, ClO4. This compound is harmful to human thyroid, and as such, we have to phytoremediate it before we can use it to plant trees, which will provide oxygen for our inhabitants, your neighbors, and yourself. From the Martian atmosphere, we extract oxygen from carbon dioxide, as well as liquid water turned from water vapor, using the structural shells that provide safety to us all.
Your new neighborhood on Gale Crater has two parts, the villages and the forest ribbon. You will be moving into Curiosity Village, and there are two other neighboring villages, Musk Village and Discovery Village. Now, the ribbon is what allows long-term life to thrive on Mars. Essentially, The forest ribbon provides each village with all of its oxygen needs, and the ribbon grows with each new settlement over time.
Welcome home. Here's an interior view of Curiosity Village, where you can see modular 3D printed units used for housing, commercial, and agricultural uses. Curiosity Village holds an interior parkland for your kids to go hang out on the Martian surface, while the low points of the village filter water through forested wetlands. Here you can see entry and exit points for Curiosity Village, as well as internal circulation. If there are any upsetting events that cause evacuation, please keep these sites in mind as you exit towards the ribbon. All sites are separated, providing resiliency in case of some sort of catastrophe. Transportation between the villages and the forest ribbon is accessible on bike, on foot, or with personal rapid transit trolley lines. The octahedron provides a base unit for all housing clusters. The collector shell is a 3D printed structural membrane which holds the housing units while also producing oxygen, collecting water, collecting solar energy for all of the DC energy used within the structure, and provides lighting overhead throughout the entire village. This 3D printed structure, if you remember, comes from the Martian soil, which holds silicon, iron, and other elements, which allow this to be both structural and transparent. As you begin your life on Mars, keep one thing in mind. It's your life. On Mars, you can do much more than you're able to on Earth. And I'm not just talking about breathing deep. I'm talking about customizing your home for your needs. When you first move in to your initial habitation cluster setting, you and your 14 pre-selected bunkmates will have everything you need for the foreseeable future. Specifically, growing space, living space, cooking space, and basic habitation flexible space. As time moves on, you can fill out the other 5 octahedra as you see fit, reflecting your culture at home or your future culture on Mars. Don't worry about any structural constraints here. Our 3D printing technologies print only what will stand up under extreme stress. Now that's something to celebrate.
Again, the forest ribbon makes sustained life on Mars possible. It supplies each village with all of its oxygen needs and grows as population increases over time. The forest ribbon is built of a layered system, starting with the base structure, which collects water, remediated soil, which hosts the oxygen-rich forest, ribs, and a structural superskin, which is encased with a collector shell, which absorbs solar rays but also shields vegetation from the intense solar radiation.
Yeah. Here you see the beginning stages of the forest ribbon, where 3D printers make the base structure. Upon completion of the base structure, Martian soil is loaded into it and a shell built on top. That shell collects water from the Martian atmosphere. Once enough water is collected, it is filtered through the soil, providing a first flush filtration for perchlorate in the soil. This water, which contains the perchlorates, is pumped to the greenhouse, where it is biodegraded via algal bioreactors. After initial filtration, phytoremediation plantings are installed into the soil. These plants phytoaccumulate and phytodegrade the perchlorates that remain in the soil and are then exported exterior of the shell, providing opportunity for organic soil building in the exterior of Mars. Now that the soil is clean, the fun starts. Depending on the desired usage and ecotype, we can create landforms to pile the soil around, generating topography. An early forest can be planted, and the space becomes occupiable. After years, a mature forest develops, not only providing space for recreation and research, but also oxygen, which is piped through the tunnel system to the villages. Here you can see how the soil barn moves along its trajectory of the ribbon, leaving forest in its wake. This happens building capacity for more people to move to Mars as more oxygen is produced by the ribbon forest.
Here we see what the forest ribbon looks like during its early stages. Now, we can only build with what is available on Mars. So within the forest, occupiable spaces are created for researchers and visitors by a lifting and fusing of the Martian regolith. Here we see what the forest looks like after it's fully matured. Now, one of the biggest concerns with space travel are the psychological factors. Recreational outlets are important, and the forest ribbon provides that. Visitors can go on hikes and explore and even have overnight vacation stays with their family and friends.
So you may be wondering, what happens if you go a little stir crazy in these robust environments? Well, let me kid you not. The rest of the Martian surface provides ample opportunity for not only exploration, but also expression. You should see the sunsets. As we touch down and move into your home as well as the future, we welcome you to what's next. But most importantly, we ask you to help determine what's next for the human race.